Tensions that started on the set between Blake Lively and her It Ends With Us co-star and director Justin Baldoni have morphed into a massive, multifaceted dispute involving lawsuits, reputational damage, and leaked private information.
Breaking news, Justin Baldoni just got a big win, meaning Blake Lively got a big loss.
Lively initially lodged a complaint against Baldoni with California authorities in December 2024, accusing him of inappropriate behavior during filming. One of the alleged incidents involved a slow dance scene in which Baldoni supposedly leaned forward and dragged his lips from her ear down her neck, an action that Lively says made her feel violated.
For another.
I'm not getting beard on you today.
I'm probably getting a great fan on you.
That smells good.
Well, it's not that. It's my body makeup.
She also asserts that Baldoni entered her trailer without permission on multiple occasions, even when she was undressed, and pressured her to lose weight not long after she had given birth.
This person is not an honest broker. I believe her less than ever. I actually disbelieve her fully now.
Lively claims these experiences caused grief, fear, trauma, and extreme anxiety. The accusations ignited a firestorm in Hollywood. Many people initially rallied around Lively. Her co-star Brandon Sklenar urged the public to, for the love of God, read this, linking to her complaint on Instagram. A prominent women's advocacy group, Vital Voices, revoked an award given to Baldoni for being an ally to women, citing abhorrent conduct that contradicted the group's principles. Even Baldoni's own circle felt the impact. Liz Plank, who co-hosted a podcast with him, quit the show and remarked that we all deserve better. Clearly, industry sentiment turned sharply against Baldoni, as Lively's claims were taken quite seriously. In response, Baldoni forcefully denied any misconduct and aggressively fought back. His team released an unedited 10-minute video of the disputed slow dance scene, claiming it demonstrates mutual respect and professionalism rather than the misconduct Lively described. Lively's representatives countered that her discomfort in the footage is evident, stating any woman who has been inappropriately touched at work will recognize Ms. Lively's discomfort. The dispute quickly escalated into a series of lawsuits. Lively filed an 80-page lawsuit in federal court, accusing Baldoni of sexual harassment and launching a retaliatory smear campaign intended to torpedo her career. She alleged that Baldoni and his associates, including publicists Jennifer Abel and Melissa Nathan, schemed to influence social media and the press to undermine her. According to her lawyers, Lively had spoken out about safety concerns on set and was now enduring more retaliation as a result.
That over the last 30 days, she has lost 397,000 subscribers.
Baldoni, in turn, mounted his own legal offensive. He and his production company, Wayfarer Studios, sued the New York Times for $250 million following a December 21, 2024 investigative article outlining an alleged public relations smear effort targeting Lively.
They changed the communications to remove emojis. Are you blaming the New York Times for doing that?
I'm blaming the New York Times for participating with Blake Lively's publicists, part of facilitating the complaint getting filed with the CRD, and knew the complaint was getting filed, encouraged them to file the complaint, had a copy of the complaint before it was filed, and once it was filed, they went with a story.
Baldoni's 87-page defamation complaint denounced the piece, titled, "We Can Bury Anyone Inside a Hollywood Smear Machine," as misleading and based on cherry-picked and altered communications.
And specifically said that those messages were cherry-picked and used out of context. Was there a follow-up phone call? Was there, please tell us more? What do you mean by cherry-picked and taken out of context? There was no investigative journalism done whatsoever.
He accused Lively of providing the NYT with a self-serving narrative and argued that the newspaper fell for it. Baldoni also claimed there was evidence the NYT had started preparing the story weeks before Lively formally filed her complaint, implying a planned media offensive. For its part, the NYT stood behind its reporting, pointing out that it reviewed thousands of pages of original documents and published extensive quotations, none of which Baldoni's representatives specifically identified as false. Simultaneously, Baldoni lodged a countersuit against Lively, her husband Ryan Reynolds, and her publicist Leslie Sloan, alleging defamation. He claims Lively invented the harassment allegations in order to ruin his career and take over creative control of It Ends With Us.
Blake Lively is caught in old footage revealing that yes, her secret plan is to always take control of the movies and lie to the directors to get it.
Baldoni's lawsuit asserts that Reynolds used his Hollywood influence in an attempt to have Baldoni dropped by their mutual talent agency, WME. Baldoni's legal documents recount an episode where Reynolds allegedly demanded that Baldoni's agent cease representing him. The filing portrays it as a blatant use of power, describing the couple's intent to destroy Baldoni's career and personal life. Whether those claims hold water or not, WME did cut ties with Baldoni. The agency maintains it was not responding to any pressure from Lively or Reynolds, and denies that Reynolds even confronted Baldoni's representative as alleged. Insiders, however, noted the timing was suspicious. Indeed, Deadline reported that WME's decision was partly linked to Lively's complaint and the ensuing controversy. Tellingly, Lively, who is also represented by WME, remains with the agency. Baldoni's attorney, Brian Friedman, dismissed Lively's allegations as false, outrageous, and intentionally salacious, asserting them publicly after Baldoni lost the backing of his agent.
He thinks this is okay and proudly displaying us, we're women so we can just lie and cheat and steal our way into control these big movies. I mean, how disturbing is this to you?
As the legal wrangling carried on, conservative commentator Candace Owens emerged as an outspoken supporter of Baldoni, devoting multiple episodes of her popular podcast and YouTube show to analyze and critique Lively's claims. Owens argued that this was a deliberate Hollywood takedown, accusing Lively of scheming to topple Baldoni by any means necessary.
You know, someone asked me recently why this particular case has seized the world. It was just a perfect act of evil.
In a charged video, Owens alleged that Lively had enlisted help from Taylor Swift, one of her close friends, by leveraging Swift's press connections. Owens noted that Ronan Farrow and Megan Twohey, both known for their groundbreaking coverage of Harvey Weinstein and the Dar Me Too movement, also share a connection with Swift. According to Owens, Lively leaned on Farrow and Twohey to amplify her allegations against Baldoni. In fact, Twohey co-authored the December 21st NYT article that Owens labeled a lengthy takedown piece orchestrated by Lively. Following that article, Baldoni promptly sued the NYT for fraud and libel, further fueling Owens' theory that Lively was staging a media campaign. Owens also zeroed in on Lively's personal conduct, combing through older interviews to question her credibility. She found a 2022 interview where Lively spoke about immersing herself in various aspects of filmmaking, which Owens interpreted as a sign that Lively is controlling and possibly manipulative.
I would show up on a set. I knew that they just wanted me to show up and look cute and stand on a little pink sticker where I'm supposed to go and say what I'm supposed to say. But I also knew that that wasn't fulfilling for me, that I wanted to be a part of the storytelling, that I wanted to be a part of the narrative, whether that be in the writing, in the costume design, in creating the character.
Owens portrayed Lively as an expert in flipping scripts, suggesting she might exploit the appearance of victimhood while actually operating behind the scenes. Most controversially, Owens likened Lively's allegations to what she considers the overreach of the Me Too movement, an environment she says relies on trial by media without sufficient due process. She argued that Baldoni is merely the latest example of a man's life being devastated by unproven claims. Praising Baldoni's decision to push back and reveal the lies, Owens criticized Lively's team for referencing a scenario. Planning memo from Baldoni's PR group that mentioned Taylor Swift, Owens viewed it instead as proof of how far Lively's team would go to control the narrative. To Owens, the controversy was laying bare the real Blake Lively, and she predicted it might deter future collaborators. Both Lively and Baldoni have taken a hit to their standing in Hollywood, but Lively in particular now finds her methods under scrutiny. What started as a Dar Me Too-like stand against harassment has devolved into an increasingly messy conflict with damaging evidence being released on both sides. Baldoni's team has shared text messages and emails they say dismantle Lively's version of events. One striking instance involves Lively's claim that Baldoni repeatedly entered her trailer unannounced while she was nursing her baby, which she depicted as predatory behavior. Baldoni produced a text from Lively in which she explicitly invited him in while she was pumping, suggesting he hadn't barged in uninvited.
They went into my trailer when I was breastfeeding my baby. You're like, that's disgusting. What's wrong with these people? Then you see his text message where she says, come on over to my trailer. I'm breastfeeding baby, but it's fine.
Baldoni's legal filings also include internal communications among his PR team, which apparently show a sense of alarm at rumors they were planting stories about Lively, an indication, in Baldoni's view, that there was no carefully orchestrated smear campaign. In fact, Baldoni alleges he repeatedly made clear that he did not want to harm Lively and only looked for PR help after feeling blindsided by false and damaging statements. On February 1st, 2025, Baldoni's team launched a public website sharing selected legal documents and claimed that these receipts prove Lively has exaggerated or fabricated her accounts. Meanwhile, Lively's own reputation is being steadily tarnished.
All right, so you know who Blake Lively is, right? Most people know her. Yeah, see, the people who are booing, they know.
Her original narrative, a strong stand against a seemingly powerful abuser, has morphed into a potentially overreaching ploy. The clearest indication that the tide is turning is that Lively herself faces lawsuits. In early February, Crisis, PR consultant Jed Wallace, whom Lively accused of helping spread online rumors, sued her for defamation to the tune of $7 million. Wallace says Lively wrongly framed him as part of a smear scheme, causing serious harm to him and his firm. Though Wallace was not a defendant in Lively's original case, both her complaint and the NYT article mentioned him by name, Lively's. Representatives dismissed Wallace's suit as retaliatory while promising that he too would be held accountable in federal court, thereby maintaining that Wallace and Baldoni's publicists worked in unison to create disparaging fake posts about her. As a result, Lively is simultaneously defending herself on multiple legal fronts. Even within entertainment circles, this high-profile slugfest, replete with A-list text messages, leaked footage, and lawsuits, is giving many executives pause. A federal judge in New York admonished both parties for turning the case into public theater, threatening to move up the trial date if the mudslinging continues. Observers, including Candace Owens, have hinted that after such a damaging fight, studios might be reluctant to work with Lively. She is coming across to some as an actor who might record private conversations or head straight to court should a conflict arise. Although Lively still has not lost any major brand deals, industry insiders warn that family-focused companies may be wary of signing someone entangled in such a volatile situation. Baldoni, formerly best known for his role on Jane the Virgin, has embraced a narrative of a falsely accused man defending himself, which could earn him a level of respect if he is ultimately vindicated. If the courts side with Baldoni, he could well emerge not only cleared but possibly lauded for taking a stand. Since court proceedings aren't set to begin until 2026, barring a judge deciding otherwise, the steady release of new depositions and evidence is likely to persist for months. Every revelation seems to shift the balance in this escalating standoff. Currently, the narrative appears more favorable to Baldoni, whose factual defense has chipped away at Lively's claims. He has shared texts, emails, and voice recordings that he says prove he's not the abuser she painted him to be. Questions now surround Lively's motives. Was she an honest victim seeking justice, or did she exploit her influence and media connections for control? Baldoni's allies, now joined by Owens, believe the latter, saying they are witnessing Lively's downfall in real time.
What really happened is we were like, we're going to show the movie, and the studio was like, no, you're going to show 20 minutes. So we're like, no, we're going to show the movie. And they're like, it's not done. And I was like, shoot. They were like, if everything's not perfect and it's not done, and what if we're going to change things? I was like, we have an option. I literally brought the movie with me on the airplane.
For Baldoni, the conflict goes beyond preserving his reputation, losing his high-profile agent, alienating collaborators, and being stripped of honors could have spelled the end of his career. Instead, he chose to fight back through both legal and PR avenues, determined to showcase evidence he feels exonerates him. Brian Friedman, Baldoni's attorney, accused both the NYT and Lively of orchestrating a vicious smear campaign using doctored and manipulated materials to sabotage Baldoni's future.
Lively may think they have the upper hand. Sources say she has no idea what's coming regarding her battle with Justin Baldoni.
Now, Baldoni's legal campaign places prominent Hollywood figures, namely a major actress, her superstar spouse, and one of the nation's leading newspapers, directly in the crosshairs. Blake Lively, once an emblem of Hollywood glamour, finds herself wearing the hats of defendant, plaintiff, and gossip column fixture all at once. While her initial complaint ignited a movement, the resulting blowback has started undermining her own public image. Private conversations captured on tape, potential lawsuits on every side, and behind-the-scenes maneuvering are enough to alarm studios and corporate brands. For better or worse, Justin Baldoni, once regarded primarily for his acting, now appears as someone ready to stand up against claims he deems baseless. If he can validate his side of the story in court, he may leave this ordeal not only intact, but potentially admired for refusing to back down. Ultimately, this confrontation shows no sign of cooling off. A trial could begin in 2026 unless it is expedited, meaning the steady flow of new information will continue for some time. Every leaked message or legal filing can shift the public's view of who is telling the truth. As it stands, the saga favors Baldoni's pursuit of rehabilitation and puts the spotlight on Lively's dramatic reversal of fortune. It has the ingredients of an over-the-top Hollywood script, yet it's all unfolding in real life, where reputations and careers truly hang in the balance. Sources. These details are grounded in official court records, news reports, and statements from both sides. Outlets like People, the Hindustan Times, Justia, AP News, and others have verified many of the legal documents and first-hand accounts. Their coverage sheds light on the alleged on-set misconduct, the wave of lawsuits instigated by Lively and Baldoni, and the industry fallout, including a talent agency's stance and a PR firm's counterclaims. Candace Owens' commentary, while opinionated, adds another layer, highlighting how Lively's ties to influential journalists and Taylor Swift feature in the legal filings. As the legal and public relations battle advances, these sources remain essential for distinguishing fact from rumor in a saga that has seized Hollywood's attention.